Are you ready to package your expertise into a service that sells, but don't know where to start? Let's fix that. In this video, we're going to talk about some steps that you can take right now to create a service that sells. Hey friends, I am Brianca Kirkman and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am a marketing operations and automation strategist, and I specialize in helping executives, entrepreneurs, and CEOs launch and grow sustainable marketing systems through simple online marketing strategies and advanced automations. Subscribe to my channel for bi-weekly videos featuring launch, marketing, and entrepreneurship strategies. Now, let's get into it. I am so excited to be talking today about creating your profitable offer. I've helped dozens of clients create profitable and sustainable offers using the exact strategies that I'm going to cover with you here today. So as we think about how do we develop a service that sells, the very first thing that I want you to consider, right, is what are your mission, vision, and values? And the reason that this is important is because it is foundational to the offers that you will create, the messaging that you will create, the clients that you will attract, etc. This is the core or the essence of your business. So you want to be very clear on what it is exactly that you are building. A lot of entrepreneurs skip this step, but I really want you to consider it because as you begin to build out more offers, develop a full offer suite, and begin to think about what your customer journey is, you want to be certain that the offers that you are creating are laddering up to the complete transformation or result that you want your company to be known for, which is ultimately the mission that you're on. So as you think about your mission, your vision, and values, I want to break it down for you. Your mission statement is a succinct statement that basically identifies what it is that you do, right? So how do you create impact with your ideal clients? As an example, the mission for Brianca Johnson and Company is that we are dedicated to becoming the foremost authority in marketing, coaching, and consulting for companies, organizations, and entrepreneurs, delivering tailored solutions that drive growth and success for our clients. Through strategic partnerships with educational institutions, nonprofit organizations, and small businesses, we aim to revolutionize marketing education, offering comprehensive training programs and white label curricula to shape the marketers of tomorrow. So that is the mission that we are on. The difference between the mission and the vision is that the vision indicates where do you hope to go, right? So it should be providing insight into what the company hopes to achieve or become in the future. So if I were to give you another example, our vision is to revolutionize how organizations engage and activate their audiences by providing custom, comprehensive marketing solutions that amplify their impact, inspire action, and foster meaningful connections with their communities. So when you understand what your mission and your vision are, you can then get clear on what your values are going to be. So as an example, our values are excellence, innovation, community, fast action, fun, integrity, and authenticity, right? So knowing this about my business, it helps me to make sure that as I'm creating my services and I'm creating my offers, that they are in line with what it is that we do, but also where it is that I envision for this company to go. And so because I have these foundational things as part of, my company plan, I can easily dictate or say, okay, hey, the way that I'm building this service, is not in line with the vision that I have, or that it is in line, but I may need to tweak these things because it doesn't hold true to my values. So really getting clear on that is going to be important because as you may well know, right, it's very important to me that you build a sustainable business, right? I want you to build it fast, but I also want you to build it to last. And this will help you kind of navigate building that offer and using your mission, your vision, your values as a North Star. So once you are clear on that, then it's important to kind of dig into who your ideal client is, right? So you want to think about the demographics of that person. So are they male or female? How old are they? What city do they live in? how much revenue or how much money do they make in their household, right? Not necessarily because you care about their salary, but you want to know like what disposable income they have to make investments in their business or to make investments in their personal lives or in their family, in their travel, etc. So you want to understand like what some of those things are. What cities do they live in? What activities do they like to do in their free time? Things like that. All of this information gives you insight, not just for like how you should talk to them, but also for who you should be targeting when you're running ads, or what platforms you should be connecting with for profitable platforms, right? So a profitable platform is someone who offers a complementary service to what you offer. So this person might be the service provider, or they might own the product that your ideal client goes to before working with you or after working with you. So as an example, as a marketing strategist, a lot of times like my profitable platforms are SEO strategists or copywriters, graphic designers, web designers, brand strategists, brand designers. These are all people that my clients like to work with either before they work with me or after they work with me, and sometimes even in tandem while they are working with me. So knowing this, it helps me to, use what these complementary service providers may be saying as market research, right? So the more that I know about my client, the more intimate that I am with them, the better I'm able to craft my marketing, to craft my messaging, and to really hone in on some of the 5 P's that we're going to talk about later. So you want to know their demographics, but you also want to know their psychographics. So you want to know like what is it that they are going through, right? What are some of the pain points that they're having? What do they desire? What's the ultimate transformation that they want to see realized in their life or in their business? What struggles or challenges are they having? What's their main motivation? Like, why do they want this thing to come true in their life or in their business? And understanding these things allows you to talk to them when you're creating your content, right? Now, another key point about your ideal client is that you want to understand proximity. So you want to know, like, are there people in your community or in your audience right now who would be ideal clients for your business? Because if so, then you're going to want to be able to reach out to them and conduct market research, which is what we're going to talk about next. But before we get into market research, I want you to let me know in the comments what the offer is that you're going to be launching and who it's for. Tell me like who the ideal client is. Tell me something about their demographics or their psychographics. What profitable platforms could you potentially reach out to in advance of working with them? Things like that, right? Like I really want to know like how you're thinking about this ideal client. Now, the more that you get to know your ideal client, you understand if you have them in your audience or if you have them in your community, then what we can do is we can begin to conduct market research. Now, there are a multitude of ways that you can conduct market research. You can leverage forums. You can leverage coffee chat calls. You can share polls and questionnaires in your stories. There's so many things that you can do. One of the things, though, that what really matters, honestly, is the questions that you ask and your ability to capture the data and aggregate it. So if you are trying to like really get a sense of who this ideal client is because you want to build out an ideal client avatar, right? You need to be able to take as much information as you can and condense it down into one ideal client avatar for your service. So in the ideal client avatar, you're going to want their age range. You're going to want to know what cities they primarily live in case you want to do an event and you want to do it where your ideal clients are. You need to know where they are. You're going to want to know like what are a compilation or a list of some of the pain points that they have described. You're going to want to know, a list of desires, motivations, etc. that they have desires. So some of the ways that you can do this is you can go onto your social media and you can let your audience know that you are conducting market research and that you're interested in, as an example, you're interested in women between the ages of 25 and 45 who are in the process of starting businesses in the next year. And if that's you, then here's a link to a form. And if they complete that form, you can offer them, you know, some kind of incentive, whether it's a Starbucks coffee or it's a, you know, free resource that you have, or you know, something like that. But you want to incentivize them or thank them for completing the market research. Another way that you can do it is to just regularly be capturing information about your ideal clients. And you can do this even if you're hosting discovery calls. You can pull the transcripts from those discovery calls and you can compile it consistently into information. So if you are hosting clarity calls, as I like to call them, and you're asking the same questions on each of those calls, like, hey, thanks so much for booking this call. Why'd you book it? You know, what service are you interested in? What's your primary motivation for booking this service right now, etc. If you're asking those questions, then when you pull the transcripts, you can continue just copying and pasting those answers into a running Google Sheet or into a running Airtable base. So you're able to compile the information and start to get a sense of what are some of the trends that your ideal clients are saying when it comes to working with you or when it comes to their interest in working with you. Now, that market research is going to be so important because when it comes time to develop your service, especially because you're developing a service that sells, you want to be able to leverage their words in your messaging, right? You want to be able to take some of the trends and some of the words that have been said over and over again and use them to build out the 5 P's of your offer. So the 5 P's of your offer are going to be your positioning, your person, your process, your promise, and your proof. And I'm going to break those down here. So position is basically what is it that you want to be known for. So when I think about myself, if I'm going to use myself as an example, position for me is I am a marketing, operations, and automation strategist. And basically what I want to be known for is helping service providers, particularly women entrepreneurs, helping them build, launch, and grow their business using simple strategies and advanced automations. So that's what I want to be known for. When I think about the person, your person is going to be your ideal client. So it's going to be that compilation of the people that you best serve, right? When you're pulling in those characteristics and you're crafting what this person best looks like, or how they speak about their struggles, how they speak about their transformation, etc. That's where this personal avatar is going to be built. So my person, they are women entrepreneurs. They are primarily between the ages of 25 and 45. A lot of them have had businesses for at least 2 years. They've worked in corporate. They're in committed relationships and or are married. They have children or are in the processes of thinking about family planning. They want to build a business that is sustainable to not just their career, but also to their life aspirations and the vision that they have for themselves as a woman, wife, friend, sister, daughter, mother, etc. So knowing this about my person, I'm able to pull in that language as I speak to them, as I talk to them more strategically. Up next, we have process. And this is basically the steps that you take your client through in order to deliver the transformation that they are looking for. So my process is to position your expertise, prime your audience, and then plan a successful launch. This is how we kick that build, launch, and grow off, right? Like, first we need to know what you're good at. Once we know that, we need to talk about it enough so that way your audience is ready to purchase from you. And then once they do that, we need to launch your offer so you can start making money. Then up next, we have your promise, right? So my promise is for clarity to coins. My promise is, we're either kicking you off with that first 5-figure offer, or you are planning your first 5-figure launch or growing to consistent 5-figure months. So you need to understand what your promise of your service is, and then you need to be able to provide proof. So proof is basically like testimonials, and it could be qualitative or quantitative data that speaks to how you have helped others who are in the shoes similar to your ideal client. How have you helped them receive the transformation that you're promising, right? Because you don't want to just be one of those people on the internet who's like, oh, I can help you do X, Y, Z, and you're like out of integrity or scamming or things like that. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to show like, hey, this process that I'm selling to you is proven. It has delivered X, Y, Z results over this time period. And here is, some of what those testimonials or those case studies say. Once you have your 5 P's nailed down. And feel free to share those with me in the comments as well, right? Like if you want to share your 5 P's and you want to talk about them, feel free. Once you have your 5 P's, you want to outline your steps. So what is your onboarding experience going to look like, right? Are they going to have to book a discovery call? Are they going to have to complete an application? Are they going to be housed in a group or a community? Like what does that onboarding look like? You want to know what those steps are. You want to understand like what your customer service is going to be. So what are those expectations for that service? Because all of this information is going to be communicated. So as an example, when we're talking about Clarity to Coins, I always let them know like this is what the onboarding process looks like. Here is how the program works, or what the deliverables are, etc. And that helps to increase my conversion because my clients are coming in and they have a sense of what they can expect. And so you're going to want to do that as well. And then you want to share like the deliverables, right? So this is what can they expect once they have paid their money and been onboarded into the program, right? Or the offer or the service. Like, will there be an onboarding call? Will they be in a private client dashboard? Will you all communicate via Slack or primarily via email, etc.? Like, being very clear about that is going to help you, but it's really going to help your client understand the value of what they are purchasing. And then offboarding. A lot of people like to skip this step, but offboarding is going to be so important because a lot of times people are so focused on generating new clients that they're not considering the importance of retaining. And when you have a seamless offboarding experience set up, you're able to do things like capture testimonials, turn your clients into affiliates, get information about like what their experience was like and how it can be improved and things like that. And getting that information and getting that data is invaluable as you think about continuously growing your business, because these are things that you can use to not just continuously improve, but to continuously market your services. So it's very important. Lastly, you want to keep it simple, right? Like don't get all caught up in the very expensive tech stacks, and don't get caught up in making it perfect, right? Focus on getting your offer out there as best as you can with the beta offer, but think about doing it in a way that is very simple, very low cost. Some tools that I would recommend would be Dubsado. I'm going to link it in the comments, but Dubsado is an all-in-one customer relationship management tool. You can use it to send emails, contracts, request payment, schedule calls, and even like set up some automations to begin onboarding, offboarding, things like that. So Dubsado is a really good low-cost tool. I think it's about $35 a month, and you can pretty much run your business from that tool starting out. Some other low-cost options would be ThriveCard. You can host your course in ThriveCard. You can collect payment in ThriveCard. So that's really good if you're a course creator or you have digital products that you're selling, etc. I'm also going to link that in the comments as well. And then Shopify. You can use buy now, pay later options like Affirm or Klarna, ShopPay, etc. And ShopPay is really good if you have multiple digital products that you are selling. So as an example, I have a book. I have trainings that I share. I have templates that I share. All of that I house in my Shopify because it's relatively inexpensive for me, but it allows people who visit my website or visit my store, things like that, to get access to those things 24/7. And then lastly, you can just generate, very basic, very standard Stripe or PayPal links. So I want you to really digest this information and think about how you can take what you learned here to craft your service that will sell. I cannot wait to support you. Using the steps and information in this video, you too can begin to build out a profitable offer, a service that will sell, and that will transform your clients' lives and or businesses. Learn how to develop a service that sells inside of the Clarity to Coins. It is the premier membership designed to guide women entrepreneurs through every stage of launching and growing a service-based business using sustainable digital marketing strategies and advanced automations. If you like this content, please show your love by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. You can screenshot this video and tag me in the stories. But before you go, don't forget to pop on over into the comments and let me know what the offer is that you will be launching and tell me a little bit more about your ideal client. I cannot wait to talk to you again in 2 weeks. I will see you next time. Bye.